For more on the UK windfall tax, we're now being joined by Lape Olarinoye, our London correspondent, who joins us on Newsday. Lape, thanks for joining us on the program. So what has the government announced? Tell us a bit more about it.
Hi, good afternoon to you all. Well, so far, the Chancellor Rishi Sunak has announced a £15 billion package that would involve somehow kind of helping people through this tough time that we're going through. I'll just tell you a little bit more about that very quickly. So part of that £15 billion package would be a £7 billion profit from oil and gas companies, in other words, a windfall tax, and that tax will generate about 7 billion. That's what they're quoting. That 7 billion will then go back into households that need it most through a means-tested process, which would mean that the most vulnerable will have the most help. Along with that, there would also be an injection of cash for households. Initially, it was a £200 in cash injection to households, but now that's set to be doubled in a surprise U-turn, and that will go up to £400 with no need to pay back. Initially, it was meant to be paid back over the course of 5 years. That's now been scrapped too. Along with that, we've heard that there will also be an energy cap on prices of energy, so as to reduce the total number of household bills over the year. These have all come very, very quickly. I mean, just last week, the Chancellor, along with the Conservative government, was saying otherwise, but this seems to be a turnaround, and as many more people are clamouring for change amid rising energy cost and rising cost of living.
All right, Lape, talk to us. What impact has the Sue Gray report had on the government's U-turn on this windfall tax?
Well, Aaron, you know, the Sue Gray report has been a contentious one. People have been waiting earnestly to see the results of that report. And just over 70 days it took her to give us this summary, which has stated that the government, the Conservative government in particular, behaved out of line, and there needs to be some sort of code of conduct implemented within the government, and how they kind of blur social lines from work lines. And that's some of what the report has shown. That has, of course, caused yet again another uproar amidst the Partygate scandal, and many people, especially from the opposition parties like the Labour Party, the Liberal Democrats, even the SNP, have all said this new windfall tax and this new U-turn on reducing energy costs and so on is because of this Sue Gray report. It's been triggered by this because the Conservative government, and rightly so, want people to stop talking about Partygate. So there are a lot of allegations that that the Sue Gray report has almost created this domino effect of the announcement that we're getting today. Of course, the Conservative government strongly deny that. But one thing is certain, is that people are living through tough times in the UK and need that kind of change. And this announcement couldn't have come any sooner.
Now, there seems to be a general rise in cost of living across the globe, but what are the contributing factors of rising cost of living, particularly in the UK?
Well, I mean, in the UK particularly, the main contributing factors are, of course, inflation. That's causing the price of goods to go up. And, of course, that means that people have to pay more for prices of items. And, of course, the cost of living will increase as a result of that. In addition to that, rise of energy prices have also been the significant cost here. And that's, of course, because of the knock-on effect from the war in Ukraine. So a combination of both rising inflation and, of course, rising energy prices has led to this awful situation where people are choosing between either heating up their homes or even, feeding their children and feeding themselves. So it has meant that the most vulnerable are really, really on their knees at the moment. And even people that were relatively comfortable now are seeking help from the state in order to survive. So those are the main contributing factors. But many people would argue that there has been a knock-on effect from external places like Brexit, like the war in Ukraine as well. But one thing's certain, inflation is a huge part of this.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you, Lape, for your time here on Newsday. Do have yourself a wonderful day.